All right, guys. Well, good evening, everybody. I am Ryan. I am joined tonight by Joel Fritzma. We are
Hello,
Michigan Storm
everyone.
Chasers here. Going to go over our briefing of our severe weather expectations and possibilities for tomorrow. So, starting off, we do have a marginal risk here in place for the entire lower peninsula here, with a level 2 slight risk to the south, further toward Lansing, Ann Arbor, Kalamazoo, Battle Creek areas. Main hazard concern, large hail, as well as damaging winds here. Again, highest probabilities further south there, but the entire state really under the gun here for damaging winds, or should I say large hail? Sorry. Entire state under the gun here for large hail. And then damaging winds, again, pretty much the entire state, unless you're up there in northwestern lower. And then also a probability of a tornado or two possible. This SPC map does show that, best probability being further south and west toward like Kalamazoo, down toward Sturgis, those areas, and then over to Benton Harbor. But we will be watching the entire state regardless for like storm mergers and stuff like that. But right now, we do think that risk is highest off to the south there across south central Michigan. All right. So overall, though, we do agree with this SPC map. We think that that yellow slight risk is well placed. We'll go ahead and dive into some models here to give you guys an idea of what we're thinking, starting with the HRRR. And we're going to stick with this model tonight. We're not going to look at too many other solutions here. So we do have a severe threat tonight up in the UP here. We see a line of storms that is expected to move through after 10 p.m.-ish. That will have potential for all hazards, primarily wind and hail. But not going to rule out a tornado up there tonight. That's going to push toward the lower peninsula here as we get toward 3 or 4 a.m. or so. And then that is going to move southeastward here as we get into the later parts of the morning hours. So 3 to 4 a.m. arrival time up in northern lower, and then that'll move southeastward to get to Lansing or so, Flint, Lansing by roughly 8 in the morning. Okay. We're going to have to watch to see how that line develops and how it plays out, because that's going to affect our weather for tomorrow significantly. That may leave outflow boundaries for focusing additional storm development through the afternoon. It also could cloud us over, take our moisture, instability, a lot of factors possible with that line as it moves through. We're going to have to watch that extremely closely. This model does have a decent handle, we think, on things. As that line moves through, it'll be dying. It won't be severe. Heavy rain, some gusty winds, small hail possible, nothing severe though. But watch as that line moves and decays. Additional development here across central Michigan is possible. We see at 1 p.m. some cells starting to pop up here north of Lansing, south of Mount Pleasant. That's going to be the focus for tomorrow afternoon and evening as well. Right around that 2 to 3 p.m. time frame, we're going to be keyed into very closely as we watch these storms that are expected to develop. This is at 2 p.m. Here's 3 p.m. Here is 4 p.m. Notice we have a nice, healthy squall line that has formed over Lake Michigan, as well as additional development all the way from Port Huron back toward Grand Rapids. Okay, that's going to be the main focus, and that's also why the slight risk, if we go back to the slight risk, is in place where it is right now. It's because this model is showing us what we think is a good idea of what's going to happen. So 3 to 4 p.m. watch development, central Michigan, south central Michigan. That'll push southeastward as evening goes on. Here's 6, here's 7, here's 8, 9, here's 10. And then notice we have a second round on this model that does develop. This is 10 p.m. further to the north here, north of Mount Pleasant, south of Gaylord. A second line doesn't hold out too long, but the environment on this model does support that second round potentially. Could be severe, but it doesn't hang out too long, doesn't look too nasty. We'll watch it. Okay. So for those of you further north, that main line looks to miss you. But again, that if any storm can pop up through the afternoon or evening after that line moves through, it does have an environment favorable for severe weather. What hazards are we concerned about? Again, primarily wind and hail. So if the atmosphere can develop and mature to its full potential tomorrow for severe weather, this squall line does look pretty healthy. It does have healthy ingredients as well to support both damaging winds and perhaps large hail as well. The tornado risk is quite low. We don't have really enough spin in the atmosphere to mention more of big concern for tornadoes. But the threat here in Michigan, as we learned last week, is never zero. We can have storm mergers where storms collide together that can help tornado genesis. We can also have outflow boundaries, lake breeze boundaries, mesoscale stuff that we cannot see on forecast models that may come together to support a brief tornado. So it's a low chance. It's not zero, though. Okay. As this line does mature and push, it would concern us for potential damaging winds 60 to 70 miles per hour. If this can mature into a very mature looking squall line, wouldn't be shocked to see pockets of isolated higher or what we consider significant wind gusts here, 70 plus in spots. But again, it's going to have a lot of things come together. And also, when these cells first pop up across South Central Michigan, if they can stay isolated and they're supercellular, a large hail threat, perhaps very large hail, 2+ inch diameter hail, would be possible in a short window in the mid to late afternoon time frame. So, expectation 3 p.m. onwards up to 10 p.m., perhaps later, if we get that second round that develops here further north up by Mount Pleasant. That also would support, again, wind and hail. And again, potential for a brief tornado up there if any storms can collide or there's lake breeze boundaries to interact with. Low chance, not zero. All right. Believe I covered everything there. But again, for the SPC outlook, highest risk is down there, South Central Michigan. I would agree with that. Maybe an expansion further to the east and a little bit further north to account for the model showing it forming just south of Mount Pleasant there. We'll see what they do. Update at 2 a.m. from the SPC. And again, tornado risk does appear to be highest South Central, although SPC does say Southwest Michigan. We think it's probably highest across much of South Central Michigan with that bow echo as it moves southeastward. Now, on the flip side of things, I'll cover this briefly here. If that morning line that we're looking at tonight moves to the UP, arrives in the lower peninsula in the morning hours, if that happens to cap our atmosphere or limit overall instability, the threat would then go down overall. We may have a struggle to get storms up and going to begin with. So I do want to mention that some models do show those storms holding off until they're south of the state line in Indiana, and Ohio. So we're going to watch that as well. But we would think that with everything coming together here on models, this model does have a pretty good handle on things currently. So we're going to trust this the most out of the plethora of models that we have. So overall, we do expect storms to fire. Just know that there is potential for that first line to kind of mess with things a little bit, kind of throw a caveat in there. We'll watch it. We'll update you guys, but just want to mention that as well. All right. A zoomed in look at timing and all that kind of stuff for the lower peninsula. This is at 3 a.m. These storms arriving up there in northern lower are not expected to be strong or severe. They may have some gusty, non-severe winds as well as small hail, but also they should be dying out. Could be lightning with it as well. It should be dying out, gusting out. These should just be general rain showers and thunderstorms that move through. This is at 7 a.m. here approaching Mount Pleasant. Whoopsies. Just jumped 12 hours ahead there. Let's go back here. 7 a.m. here. This is 8 a.m. Here's 9 a.m. Here's 10 a.m. Here's 11. Here's noon. Then there's our storm development for tomorrow that fires up there. All right. We'll have to watch that. And if this bow echo does mature, that would be the main concern as it pushes toward Muskegon, Grand Rapids, Lansing, down toward Detroit as well. All right. We'll see what SPC does. I know a lot of people are going to ask, is it get upgraded, downgraded? It's possible. Right now, I think the slight risk is really good, well placed there. Perhaps an expansion of the slight risk if things hold into this evening's model runs. Wouldn't expect to see an enhanced, though, unless we see a major uptrend between now and tomorrow. Joel will have a timing map as well up later on this evening. We're waiting for that, what we call 00Z model runs. They come out roughly 9 a.m. or 9 p.m. tonight. So we're going to wait and defer for our timing map just because there's a lot of complications with the map itself. Trying to pinpoint exacts is kind of hard to when we have different model solutions and stuff like that. So we're going to wait. That'll drop probably closer to, I want to say probably 10 p.m. if that sounds right, Joel.
Yeah, 9:30 to 10.
So expect that for those of you who want the timing. Overall, though, the main concern I will tell you with that line forming in South Central will be 3 p.m. onwards to roughly 10 p.m. Then again, a secondary line possible. So we're going to have to try to adjust our wording to try and make it as easy as understand as possible. But round one, main concern, 3 p.m., 10 p.m. Potential round two up northern, north central, lower a little bit later on, probably 8 p.m. onward.
Late night chat. So the thing with that is we are actually planning on doing severe weather coverage tonight because, as a reminder for everyone in here, we do have severe weather happening tonight in the UP. So that will be starting probably around 9 or 10 o'clock tonight. So after I get that timing map out, we're pretty much going into our all-night wall-to-wall coverage as long as we're needed up there in the UP. There's already some good supercells up there in Minnesota today. So those will move over as like a complex into the Western UP sometime around sunset, although sunset, is like 11:30 p.m. up there tonight. So we'll keep an eye on that. So if we do have a lull in the action, perhaps we'll go over the SBC to have a little bit of a watch party inside the coverage. But other than that, we will be planning on doing live coverage for the severe weather in the UP tonight.
Yep, and that UP risk is also, I just want to go over that real quickly for those of you tuning in from the UP. It's highest off in the western part of the UP towards like Ironwood, I believe it is, as well as Houghton. And further east, it's a marginal risk. Again, damaging winds, large hail, primary concerns. Wouldn't rule out tornado further to the west within that slight risk area, though, which is a yellow area.
Quick shout out to Red Dozier. Thank you for the channel support and donating 10 memberships to random YouTube subscribers. Again, if you are watching on YouTube and you're subscribed, you are probably one of the 10 people that just got a free membership courtesy of Red Dozier. So thank you very much, Red Dozier. And for those who perhaps got that, go ahead and check your YouTube account.
Appreciate your support as always, Red.
Yes, very much. Thank you. And we point out that this overnight complex tonight that's moving through the UP will move through as probably just generic showers and thunderstorms sometime in the morning.
Yes, so no severe tonight in the lower peninsula. Again, perhaps a strong storm as it comes on shore if they're holding their strength, but severe weather is unlikely tonight. And again, arrival time in northern lower is roughly that 3 a.m. time frame or so, give or take a few. So severe possible in the western central parts of UP, but as that continues eastward, it should be dying as we get into the early evening hours or early morning hours, should I say.
Mm-hmm.
Leave it right here for you guys.
The hot moves in after, it's already hot out there today, but the hot really starts to crank up here Friday and beyond.
Yeah, guys, if you haven't watched our video, we've been pushing this video. It's not been intentional, but it still holds true. We're going to probably be looking at close to 100-degree temperatures and heat indexes over 100. So it's coming.
Is that yellow and orange coming east across the eastern UP? So that is just like a percentages of like what hazard will happen. So yellow is like 15% as opposed to green. Marginal would be like 5%. I don't believe the enhanced will move to the east, but the slight is definitely there, especially the hazard for that large hail and damaging winds tonight in Houghton, Ironwood, and portions of Ontonagon County.
And that enhanced is sitting literally just off to the west as well.
Right.
So that's a level 3 risk up there, or not potentially, but it's sitting right there. It's on our doorstep.
Yeah.
Luckily, though, I will say the latest models don't look too menacing. But again, what's on the radar right now pushing our way looks pretty bad. So we'll have to track that, hope it weakens, but we'll be here tracking it, and we'll go live as soon as severe weather is occurring. Again, the map on your screen is for tonight up in the UP.
Yeah, the timing map for tonight's event is also on our Facebook page. I believe it's after 9 p.m. for portions there in the slight risk zone. And then I believe it's midnight and beyond for portions to the east of Marquette. But it's going to be a late night for us tonight, probably.
Give me 1 second, Joel.
Yeah, go for it. Hatched area for which day, Matthew? It could be semi-discrete sometime early tomorrow, but we do expect it to become more linear in mode by tomorrow evening, especially for round 1. Round 2, maybe some embedded QLCS spin-ups, especially here in central Michigan. And the reason why we're waiting on more model runs is because the NAM was pretty much had this first line of storms not even firing up in Michigan at all. And we're like, well, that's not true. We have a favorable environment here for, our ingredients is slim. So that's why we're waiting. We'd rather be more certain, see other models guidance, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing. So expect that timing map sometime in the ballpark of 9:30 to 10 o'clock tonight. It'll be hopefully released sometime right before the severe weather coverage starts. So we can't quite give exact timings yet for your cities in southeast lower. But again, you just tune into that on our Facebook and our X page later tonight. But we can say that it would be probably sometime after 3 o'clock tomorrow for most of southern lower. Tornado threat is low, but non-zero is the wording we're going with. Main hazard will be elevated hail, potentially some significant, especially in southwest lower Michigan, 2 inches in diameter, and then damaging wind gusts 70 miles per hour. Better shear does move in late, so that's why we're closely monitoring round 2 for extreme portions of central lower Michigan up here near Mount Pleasant and Saginaw. But not as great for round 1. D-Cape, which is going to be your damaging winds, is pretty favorable, though, for at least, a strong linear line of storms. I saw someone comment about derecho. So derechos aren't classified till after the events are over with. On any given day, any strong line of storms can become a derecho. It just depends on how long it stays strong for.
I wouldn't say we're expecting that tomorrow, though.
Right.
Not here in Michigan, though. I don't think it's an expectation. But still, I mean, severe winds is severe winds, so take it seriously either way. It doesn't have to be a derecho or, it doesn't have to be an F5 tornado to be a damaging tornado.
Right.
Again, timing map will be up later on this evening. We'll have exacts for you. For Livingston County there, I see a question, Heather. Expect storms after 3 p.m., probably closer to like 5, 6, 7-ish down there for you. But
Yeah, we've had 9 tornadoes so far this year in Michigan. State average per year is 16. So we're already halfway to our average. And it's June 12th.
But we're still below average, though.
Right.
That's all that matters at this point.
If we get a derecho naming it after Drew, who's on vacation, that's funny. Shout out Drew. He's going on vacation right when the severe weather upticks, so anything that happens is in his name. No, I'm just kidding. Don't give him that crap. Is there UP timing for overnight? Yes. So it's 9:30 to 12:30, I believe, is our first zone, and that's from Marquette and points west. Points east of Marquette is going to be your 12 to 3 o'clock in the eastern parts of the UP. Anywhere at and after 3 a.m. will be for portions of northern lower peninsula, mainly in the northwest side of northern lower. And that map, I don't think we can pull it up right now, but it's on.
I gotcha.
Okay, it is on Facebook. Just scroll back a couple posts. It'll be there. It was there last night, but looks like Ryan will be pulling it up.
Yep, I got it here. Give me a second. Whoops. Sorry. There we go. Pretty simple to understand tonight. If you guys want to screenshot that, we'll have a map like this for tomorrow up roughly by 10 p.m.
Hiding behind the graphic. Woo.
All right. Any other questions, guys, about tonight's risks or tomorrow? Feel free to hit the like button for us on your way out if you're heading out. We'd appreciate that. Anytime we get a like on the stream, it helps the algorithm significantly for us.
Good to know my wrestling on TBS won't be interrupted tonight. Well, what's nice is like you don't have to. Well, we are our own channel, so we can just stream whenever. We don't have any. Don't have to interrupt any shows. So that's what's nice about MSC here.
Big upside. A lot of meteorologists here on TV take a lot of flack for interrupting Jeopardy or Wheel of Fortune for severe weather coverage, and people don't understand that it's life-saving information. So if you're one of those people in the comments, don't do it, please.
Yeah.
They're doing it for the best interest of the population as a whole.
Right. As we like to say, just because it's not happening in your backyard does not mean it's happening in someone else's backyard right down the road.
So many times, especially in winter, I only got 5 inches. You guys forecasted 8. Well, your neighbor's got 10 inches. So
that gradient can be that sharp sometimes.
Yep. Welcome to winter forecasting. Same applies, though, in severe weather. Your neighbors might have lost a big tree or maybe a few shingles, but you didn't have any damage.
It's about having a courtesy factor. Tigers game tomorrow is at 1:15. Well, it's good it's an afternoon game, so there's a chance that, especially with that pitch clock being a thing now, that game getting done in about 2.5 hours, it should get in time. I'm not sure about that morning rain, though. If it lingers a little bit into the afternoon hours, that could be a problem. But it might just fit in the entire game tomorrow. But I would still be, if you are going to the Tigers game tomorrow, still be kind of weather aware. Have that in the back of your head if you're going out to the ballpark. Same place if the Whitecaps or the Loons or the Lugnuts are also home tomorrow. I'm not sure if any of those trip or single A teams are home, but
see a lot of questions here about timing on tomorrow's storms. We'll have an official map up by 10 p.m. tonight. Expect the worst of it if you live in southern lower after 3 p.m. Further south, probably closer like to the borders. We're talking probably closer to 6, 7, 8 p.m. And then a potential round 2 up toward like Mount Pleasant, Roscommon areas after 8 p.m. We'll have that map posted. I know it's a little bit complicated to understand, but for the general rough time frame, 3 p.m., 11 p.m., and Joel will have a map out for specific areas a little bit later on this evening. Risks tomorrow are wind and hail. Yes. Primary wind and hail. We're not going to say the tornado risk is 0, but it is quite low tomorrow.
We'll say, Ryan, there's a tornado warning now for Lake Superior, up to the Lake Superior shoreline. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. If we do have to start early, that may draw us back a little bit in terms of the timing map.
Yeah, bear with us.
Yeah, especially if those storms move across Lake Superior quicker than possible. We will have to go live probably around 9.
Yep. There it is crossing Lake Superior. Luckily, the UP is currently clear, but that's what's coming our way. Should I say the Western UP's way here in the next couple of hours. So we're watching that.
Who cut out? Somebody cut out. I'm not sure who cut out. Yeah, we might be just having a watch party within our severe weather coverage tonight. If we get a lull.
Really can't, Tasha, we really can't say what counties are going to be more severe than others. It's just a general risk area. Just be prepared late afternoon, early evening for potential for severe weather, damaging winds, and large hail will be your primary concerns. Risks tomorrow, Jacqueline, are going to be damaging winds and large hail primarily. Not going to rule out a tornado, though. Especially in that slight risk area, the yellow area.
I mean, we've been able to get sleep lately. It's been nice. There's been a time.
I don't know. I wouldn't say sleep, good sleep, even up
Right.
late.
I mean, there was a time in mid-May where we were up almost every night, though. That was something.
Yep.
But we appreciate you guys for hanging out with us when it's kind of in a lull. Not always during our severe weather coverage is it always exciting, and there's 17 warnings on being issued. But yeah, when it's down and out like that, we do appreciate you guys chilling and hanging out and talking with us. It keeps us going, keeps us awake during the night.
Oh yeah, the camaraderie that you guys provide with us, the laughs, we really appreciate it. It keeps us going. You guys don't understand how big that is to us.
Yeah.
I see a comment tomorrow about wind direction. It's going to be southwest to west. So winds out of the southwest. So southwest to northeast to be exact.
Totally just jinxed it with your sleep chances. Now we're all in for it. Sorry. We'd rather tell you about the risk than say everyone can go to sleep, because that's not true. Gotta be ready. I mean, if you live in like southern Michigan at night, you can go to sleep, but like we'll be up.
Jacqueline says she sent us a case of Red Bull. Oh, we'll be looking for that.
Is that in our Amazon thing?
Yeah, our wish list.
That's in the link tree, right?
Yes, it is.
Nice. Have you ever seen Ryan without a hat? Uh-oh.
You will never see me without a hat. Nope. I am always wearing one. Sometimes it's backwards.
Yes. I used to be a big hat wearer, but the receding hairline said,
Me too. Must be the MSC gene.
Save that for the watch party. Maybe for the members only watch party, yeah. On days when we don't have severe weather the night before, we do have members only watch party. So if you do get a YouTube membership, you'll be able to be part of that. Same goes for if you're a member on any of our other platforms like Patreon or Facebook. And the thing with those is we just go over the model runs and the SBC outlooks. Once those get posted, we just relay the information anyways on Facebook. No information is being withheld. It's just a way to kind of, hang out and talk and get, like, I guess you could say early access, even though it's, half hour early. So
a live analysis.
Yes. So if you want to become a member, it's totally optional. A couple perks with that is you get early access and cool stickers, especially if you're watching on YouTube. I know,
as well as exclusive forecasts as well that Patreon and Facebook members do get as well. So you get forecasts in there too.
Right. But again, totally optional.
And the link for that, if you're on YouTube, is now in chat. I'll drop it over in Facebook for those of you who want to, who are watching on Facebook. You guys are interested in signing up with that. I'll go ahead and drop it over there too.
Just make sure to have your ways to receive warning, especially going into tomorrow. As we also like to advertise, do not rely on just the sirens. The sirens are one way to be warned, but you don't want to be that. I mean, it's the 20th or 21st century. We have technology. Make sure you have warnings, friends and family that'll alert you in the case something's heading your way. And as well as just make sure you have a severe weather ready plan in place so you know what to do in case a warning is issued for your part of the woods.
Siren should be your last way to receive warnings.
Right. Jess says, come to YouTube. We love gifting memberships. There you go, everybody. If you're not subscribed on YouTube, again, subscribing on YouTube is completely free if you have a YouTube account. Every once in a while, our members like to give out subscriptions or channel memberships, and it's a fun tool, and we appreciate you for supporting us. Drew's in here now, it looks like.
Drew, stay away from us. Stay out of the state, please. Kidding. Obviously. On the flip side, there's no snow in the forecast.
Yes. S word in June.
Yeah, why is that tiny section of Michigan not in a marginal?
I'm sure
It
I'm sure
technically
they'll.
is in a marginal if you think about it.
Yeah.
25 miles within a certain point is how that goes. I thought I had that pulled. There it is. If I go back here.
Jacqueline Baxter with 1 gifted membership. Thank you very much, Jacqueline. Appreciate your support.
Guys got questions, feel free to drop those in chat. Yeah, so Ludington and Pentwater, or Ludington really is the only city that's not colored in a marginal, but a 25-mile radius within a certain point would put it in the marginal regardless. So technically it's in a marginal. But it's kind of weird they decide not to draw that. That's really weird.
Yep.
Well, there's a zoomed in look for your slight risk. Go ahead and go back here to the day 2. Do I even have that pulled up anymore? There it is.
Someone asked if chasers will be out tomorrow. Yes. We'll have chasers out tomorrow. Even myself or Ryan could be out depending on what's happening in his neck of the woods or my neck of the woods. I'll be in the Mount Pleasant area and he'll be down southeast Michigan.
I will say, though, we are missing Drew and Ben, who are 2 of our pretty active chasers. So we'll be without those guys tomorrow. We're probably going to have Chris Tobias, I have to assume, near Lansing. Have to talk to the guys, see who's planning to go out. We haven't really had the discussion yet. In fact, let's go ahead and start the discussion.
Yes, this is the map for tomorrow.
Time frame for tomorrow will be released a little bit later on this evening. General guideline here, 3 p.m. onward towards midnight would be the general time frame. Chandler and Alex may deploy, says Chandler, as we call it, Chandlix.
Mm-hmm.
And they will probably be in Southwest Michigan. So they'll be at the heart of that line. Is on the model here that's shown is actually legit and comes to fruition. They'll be right there at that bow echo.
People are asking
how many inches of snow were what?
People are asking to see the model run again while you're answering that question.
Sure.
For the reflectivity.
Let's go ahead and do the zoomed in look here. I like this a little bit better. So for those of you in lower Michigan for tomorrow, let's go ahead and run this through here. Here is 4 in the morning, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, noon. 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m. That's when the interesting stuff's supposed to start, 3 to 4 p.m. Here's 5. There's 6. There's 7. And then notice we have a secondary line that develops further north, which is why that risk up there is also further north towards Mount Pleasant, as well as Roscommon. Not sure how that's going to handle the environment. It's in a pretty good environment as is, but being we just had that line work its way through, we may have to kind of watch that and see how the atmosphere is looking overall for that second line. But still, potential is there.
Yep.
And that second line develops. This is 10 p.m. right here, 11 p.m. and midnight. This is tomorrow, not tonight. This is tomorrow.
Yes.
All right.
And we would like to advertise that knowing where you are on a map is a huge thing when we're looking at maps like these because it shows counties. So as long as you know like what or where your county is, then you guys would be set. Obviously, you have some cities on there, but when we're going over live radar coverage and stuff like that, we always get questions like asking, how's it look for this? How's it look for that? And we just honestly, we just cover what the storms are doing and the immediate cities in the impact. So going and looking at a place, going to see where you are on your maps app is a good key when prepping for severe weather. That way, you know, when we're going over radar and we're only and showing like counties and stuff, then you guys know where you are relative to where the storms are firing.
I just want to simplify, or not really simplify, but add on to that in a simple manner. If you're ever going to ask us a question about how does your city look, a lot of times in Michigan, we're all from different parts of the state, familiar with different parts of the state. Like I'm really good with the west side and also the east side of Michigan, but I struggle with the UP and northern lower. So when you ask a question, hey, how does Roscommon look, for example, some of the guys here on the staff may not exactly know where Roscommon is. It's up there in north central. So to give us a county, we're probably going to be more familiar with that county. And the same applies there because your local area usually is, pretty well within a risk. If if your county's in a risk, you're likely in a risk as well. So going by the county over your city would probably help us out and make it a little bit quicker. So we have to look things up and be like, all right, where's this city at? So ask for your county, not your city. That helps us out a little bit.
Yeah.
Will the first line of storms be stronger than the second? Yes. That's the expectation.
Yeah.
We'll have to see. Joel's a little bit. He's confident in that second line forming.
I've been kind of a little just kind of looking at that second line, but mainly because it's closer to me. But yeah, equal chances for both.
Isaac, my dude.
Thank you,
for
Isaac.
your 5 gifted memberships. Appreciate your support. Tornado on the ground in Minnesota. Really? Yep, there it is near Crosby, Minnesota. Huh. Still a good ways out from the UP, though.
Joel's team rap. Yeah. Thanks for exposing me, Drew.
Yes, Lenawee County is in a risk tomorrow. It's actually in the slight risk, which is the highest one we have tomorrow. So be alert there, SPC.
Highest, as in the yellow color. We don't want to say pink.
Right. No, there's a difference between the high risk, which is level 5 out of 5, and the highest risk tomorrow is technically a 2 out of 5. So
right.
Don't get it confused.
Can you repeat that? First line is stronger. Ryan will say yes. I will say both have equal chance.
That's fair. We'll probably have a better idea coming into tonight's model runs, maybe into tomorrow morning as well. Just get a better idea of how it's going to be.
Yeah. We'll go moderate, not for us, but probably maybe potentially for Iowa and Illinois. Last time we had a high risk in Michigan, boy, that was
November 17th, 2013.
Yeah, I believe so. It was like southwest corner. Yep. That was the day of the Washington, Illinois tornado.
Yep, we get that question a lot.
Yep. I don't think we had too many tornadoes in Michigan. We had maybe 2 or 3 that day.
And I think they were actually in north central lower, if I remember correctly. They weren't actually in the high.
Yes, they were like up near Big Rapids, I believe. UP still under the 10 p.m. time frame tonight? Yes, especially Western. There used to be a lot of high risk back in the day for wind. I think in 2010 there used to be one for Michigan as well, if not 2013. So, yeah, Lenawee County would have been in that one.
I'll decline your offer, Matthew.
How can you root for that though? You can't. Ryan, you should make risk level stickers. Yeah, you could. That's actually a really good idea.
All right. I gotta do that now then.
Yep. Also, for those who got gifted memberships, they do expire after 30 days. So if you want to continue to be a member, you'll have to resubmit your whatever it's called after that. Is this set up similar to May 7th? Not as similar, no.
No.
Different
Shear,
motion.
yeah, the shear was a lot better on May 7th for tornadoes than it is tomorrow.
Yeah.
We have some pretty good shear in the mid levels, but nothing that would warrant tornadoes in the low levels.
Hmm.
Man,
Kyle, I saw you mention September 11th, 2019 earlier, and I was actually going to comment about that. It could be like a similar thing to what we see tomorrow with that southeasterly movement, potential some things moving in from the west at the same time. You have that congealing in the same area. That's really what it reminds me of for tomorrow. If it's more on the upper side of things. For those who don't remember, September 11th, 2019 was that tornado warning in Kent and Ionia County. They never confirmed any tornadoes out of it, but however, that was when the apartment got hit at the top of the hill in Grand Rapids, took the roof right off. They confirmed 100-mile-per-hour straight line winds with that storm. Not that we're seeing 100-mile-per-hour winds tomorrow. It's just the setup kind of has like the similar sort of motion and ingredients with it. Slim Shady sticker. We will hopefully not get copyrighted for that.
We're probably going to avoid that one just to be safe.
As much as we would like to.
Yeah, we're not going to mess with people's slogans and stuff.
Shout out Eminem.
He's from Michigan too, so you can't really diss it.
Mm.
All right, hold on. I'm about to get a marginal sticker and see how it looks. So bear with me here, guys.
Timing for Oakland County tomorrow. Besides the morning showers and storms that'll roll through there, non-severe, we would probably see anytime after 3 or 4 p.m. Again, that timing map will be coming out here in probably 2 to 3-ish hours from now, depending on what we have to do for severe weather coverage in the UP tonight and for our model run timing-wise coming out for the HRRR. And again, that timing is kind of similar for everything south, central, southwest lower, southeast lower tomorrow. Anytime after 3, you can start to expect severe chances to ramp up. As after 3, safe tomorrow. Just answered that. Not as much. But again, you'll always have more of a feel safe sort of feeling to yourself when you're more weather aware. And just tuning into our live streams obviously is one way you're doing that. You're doing yourself a favor. And then obviously if you have other ways to receive warning during severe weather coverage, that would be another way you're more severe weather aware. Do not have control over the weather. We cannot ban the 90s as much as we'd like to. What's crazy is some people still like the 90s, so, we have to adapt for everybody. It's the humidity that gets us, right?
You ain't kidding. I screwed that up. Give me a second, guys. I almost had it, but then I want the 1.1 ratio, so I got to redo this.
Nice. Happens if there's a tornado on the lake. So that, does it collect more water droplets? It kind of does. At the same time, it's not technically a tornado until it hits land. I mean, it is a tornado. It counts as a tornado report, but it's a water spout is the name for it. The lakes are weird because during certain times of the year, especially like the bigger lakes, so we're talking like Lake Michigan, Lake Huron, et cetera, water spouts kind of have their own environment. We usually see this in fall and spring. I will say that it's hard to get a tornado off the lake unless it's like the perfect environment, mainly given the stable shallow layer, given the cooler water temps. But as we've seen in the past, the Hudsonville-Standale tornado came off the lake and rolled for, I don't know how many miles, 70, 80 miles through Grand Rapids all the way from Saugatuck. (1980) was the Portage or Kalamazoo tornado. Yep. I think that was one of the first tornadoes caught on colored film. What? You're shaking your head. Oh, you're doing the sticker thing right now?
Yeah, it's being dumb, but I got it.
Gotcha.
All right, you guys got a marginal sticker. See if it works.
If I can't watch the stream, what should I do to be alerted since I'm at the park? So the ways you can stay weather aware for warnings, obviously, if you have wireless emergency alerts turned on your phone, they will only activate for tornado warnings and destructive severe thunderstorm warnings. So what we like to do is we advertise an app that specializes in warnings themselves. It's called Emergency. So exactly how it's spelled by the Red Cross. And you can find that on your app store. They go off for whatever warnings you want it to be toggled to. So you can, if you want, all the warnings to be turned on, go ahead. Otherwise, you can just turn on the severe ones. That's what's nice about that app. I believe, Ryan, we have a graphic in there. It's called Emergency by Red Cross, just simple as that. We will say that we do have automated alerts posted on our Twitter page, or X as you call it, as well as the National Weather Service accounts that are in the state. They also post the warnings as soon as they're issued. So if you have notifications turned on and you follow us on Facebook or X, those are ways that warnings will be posted as push notifications to your phone. Not with a sound, I guess you would say, but it would just pop up on your phone and you can see it. And then obviously if you have the Midland weather radios that we like to advertise as well, that's another way to stay warned. But again, if you're out in the public, then anything on your phone is going to be your best way to do that. The emergency app is free, yes. WTF, are us in Keweenaw County now Canadian? LOL, why are we cut off on the UP data? You aren't. It's up there. You guys are in the slight risk today. But this is tomorrow's map.
Well, I did have the UP up there.
Yeah. There you go.
I'll get it zoomed in look for you. Hold on. There we go.
And if you're on Isle Royale, you are also in the slight risk. If you happen to be up there. One of these days I'll get onto the island. It'd be cool to kind of visit. Is there any cities you guys aren't sure you pronounce right? Just curious. Yeah, there's some. We're working on that booklet still behind the scenes. It's coming along slow and steady. Oops, I froze there for a second. It's coming along, but it'll still be a while before we get that. We'll post more updates on Facebook if we need help with city pronunciations, but for now we're kind of just going with our best guesses if we don't know them.
If we butcher it, correct us. Don't roast us.
Yeah, or at least help us out. Why am I seeing marginal duck squeak on chat?
Are you asking a question? Somebody asked that, or?
No, I see it like in our display.
It's a sticker now.
Nice. Well, people are saying this could miss us all together. The NAM 3K was like, yeah, so here's the thing. We're not going to give you storms tomorrow. And that's why we're still kind of uncertain and we're waiting for that 0Z HRRR run tonight. Going off strictly the NAM 3 and saying, yeah, you guys are going to get nothing, that'd be very irresponsible, especially when the ingredients are there for all modes of severe weather tomorrow anywhere in the state, especially lower. But time framing tonight, 9 to midnight for Western UP, midnight to 3 for Eastern UP, potentially into Northern Lower Michigan. Perhaps a strong storm could make its way on shore for Northern Lower, but we don't expect anything to be severe for Northern Lower. And then tomorrow, instability, everything kind of really ramps up. after 3 p.m. So we'll have that exact timing map out later tonight, but just expect anytime after 3 p.m. tomorrow to be weather aware. And that will go, especially if we have a second line, that'll go through the sunset hours into probably midnight, 2 a.m. on tomorrow night. What is going on in Minnesota? It's going crazy up there. Severe thunderstorm watch definitely on the table tomorrow. It's more of a widespread threat, so usually we look for watches when it's supposed to be for a larger area, and that could definitely be the case tomorrow. Yes, for our YouTube members, we do have a Ducknado sticker. For those who don't, for those who remember the Frankenmuth video, the duck flying across the road, that is one of our stickers for our YouTube members. In Northville, we'll be at camp 4 to 8 p.m. That is going to be right in that time range. We have to be watching out for that first line of storms tomorrow. So make sure that person is aware of severe heading their way. If you don't have any way to be alerted, Ryan, do you have a good answer for that? If you don't have a phone?
Instinct. Weather radio, if you don't have access to electronics, I mean, I think the best thing is just to know the forecast where you're at.
Yep.
Unless you're camping for like a 7 to 10 day period, that can be inaccurate that far in advance. Sure, but just be aware if you can get to a place that has Wi-Fi or a place you can look at the forecast. That's probably your best bet. Otherwise, make sure you have a storm shelter nearby and a plan in case something goes down quick. You have no warning. Otherwise, you need electronics in today's weather world to be alerted. If you don't have a phone, weather radio, at that point, yeah, instinct, and make sure you have a way to get forecasts. Even if it's like for a 1 or 2 day period, okay, the forecast is good for tomorrow, I'm good. But if you just look at the forecast and say, hey, there's a chance tomorrow, at that point, just know the time frame and just be alert.
Take as much information with you as possible before you go off the grid. Worst comes to worst, if you see scary skies coming, you hear the thunder, see the lightning, make sure to get inside as soon as possible.
Yep.
Obviously, it's different for everyone else. People live off the grid, but preloading yourself with information and staying weather aware is the best source to go to.
What weather radio we suggest? Midland WR120. I'll throw it up on the screen here. It can be programmed for your specific county as well as your specific warnings that you want. It's so good. I love mine. I have mine here on the desk. I believe it's down there. Yeah, give me a second. I got mine with me here. Got an antenna. You can plug it into the wall. There's battery power. You can set up your counties, stuff like that. Mine's not plugged in right now, so we unplugged it. So I got to reset that. But yeah, $35 at your local Walmart, Ace, Home Depot, Amazon.
Yeah.
Well worth the purchase. Could save your life one day.
Yes. And if you guys don't know how to, I guess, set it up, there are a couple of YouTube videos out there for it. It's pretty easy to do.
Yep. If you just type Midland WR120, how to set up, Midland actually has a video directly from one of their reps who show you how to go through and program it. We will also upload our version as well, just to kind of simplify things for you. So look for that in the next couple of weeks. It's just been so busy. We have so many YouTube videos planned and stuff. It's just hard to make them all, especially when we have back-to-back severe days. That's the focus. We don't want to take the focus off that. So
yeah,
we'll have that uploaded here within probably the month or so.
Mary says the Midland model was sold out last time I tried to buy. Yeah, there was I think it was James Spann, right, Alex? Or Ryan?
Whoa.
Sorry,
Alex.
I called you Alex for some reason.
Yeah, it was James Spann, and probably a little bit of us too, because we've been pushing the weather radio. I know a lot of our followers have actually purchased. So
yeah,
it is back in stock.
James Spann is a very well-renowned meteorologist for Alabama down there, ABC. obviously he's most known for the 2011 outbreak and covering that wall to wall for all day. So with that being said, he went and did a post about the Midland Weather Radio and the exact model that we advertised, and I guess they sold out, and so they're on back order right now. But
They are not
again,
on
they do
back
sell
order.
it at they do sell it at stores, and you said they were back on the website.
Yeah, Amazon has them in stock.
Yes. Where the storm change is going to be tomorrow, we will be figuring that out over the course of the night into tomorrow. We put out a PSA in our Chase Bar Network group chat.
Well, Joel, about an hour here. What are you thinking?
I'm ready to head off. I got to get some food and then grind out a timing map. So
we got some work to do as well.
Getting off.
All right, guys, we're going to hop off here. If you want to recap, I would suggest going back to the first 10 minutes or so of the video. We explain everything in detail there. Overall, though, we'll be watching the UP tonight and then Lower Peninsula tomorrow, especially in that slight risk area, but also just the entire state under a risk here for severe weather. Joel will have a timing map up by 10 or so. We'll be live if anything goes severe in the UP later on this evening and overnight tonight. So got you guys covered. Stay tuned for updates. We'll see you guys in the next stream.
See everybody.
Do us a favor on your way out. Hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, it is free to do. Would appreciate if you did that. With that being said, we'll see you guys later.